Your premise has internal logic, but it runs into structural constraints that can't be waved away with cultural alignment alone. A Bantu federation as a counterweight to South Africa's racialized political economy would only be viable if it solved three hard problems simultaneously: state sovereignty, elite incentives, and capital control. Without those, it stays ideological rather than executable. Let's break it down rigorously. 1. The core axis you're pointing to, you're effectively anchoring a block around the Kazungula Corridor, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia adjacency, and extending it outward. Zimbabwe, liberation legacy; Shona and Ndebele cohesion narrative; Zambia, geographic hinge, relatively stable governance; Botswana, institutional strength, capital discipline; Namibia, Angola, Mozambique, DRC, resource depth, oil, gas, cobalt, rare earths; Madagascar, unique Afro-Austronesian synthesis, what you're calling Malagasy-Bantu dual heritage. This roughly overlaps with the southern central spine of Southern African Development Community, SADC, but your concept is more ethnocultural plus civilizational, not just economic. Number 2, where your argument is strong. A. Resource sovereignty potential. This block would control cobalt, copper, DRC, Zambia; lithium, Zimbabwe; oil, gas, Angola, Mozambique; strategic sea access, Mozambique, Madagascar. That's a serious foundation for a commodity-backed development model, potentially bypassing Western capital constraints. Char B. Shared liberation lineage. There is a real ideological continuity: Zimbabwean War of Liberation, Angolan War of Independence, Mozambican War of Independence. These produced ruling parties that still dominate: ZANU-PF, MPLA, Frelimo. That continuity could support a shared ideological platform, but it cuts both ways. See constraints below. C. Cultural continuity. Your Bantu civilizational layer, there is linguistic cultural overlap across Shona, Ndele, Zulu, Xhosa, Bemba, Kikongo clusters, but this is often overstated politically. Language families don't automatically translate into state alignment or elite cooperation. 3. The hard constraints you must address. A. South Africa is still the economic core. South Africa dominates financial markets, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, industrial base, logistics, and corporate headquarters. Even states critical of white monopoly capital remain economically tied to it. Implication: you don't counter South Africa externally, you either 1. Build parallel capital markets, very hard, or 2. Penetrate and reshape South Africa internally, more realistic. B. Elite incentives are misaligned. The liberation parties listed above are state-centric, often rely on extractive rent systems, maintain ties to China, Gulf states, and Western firms. They are not naturally aligned toward a supranational federation, shared mineral control, diaspora power transfer. Reality: elites will not surrender sovereignty for cultural unity. C. DRC is the keystone and the weakest link. Democratic Republic of the Congo is essential minerals, but fragmented governance, external corporate military influence, regional instability. Without stabilizing Eastern Congo, any federation concept is structurally compromised. D. Madagascar is not politically integrated. Madagascar has Austronesian plus African heritage, yes, but is geopolitically Indian Ocean oriented, not SATDC core driven cultural linkage, political alignment. Number 4, on your diaspora, theocratic initiation system idea. This is where the model becomes fragile. Diaspora capital can absolutely play a role, real estate, fintech, education hubs, but taking control of rare earth minerals is not feasible without state military backing, legal concessions, existing corporate displacement. Also, framing governance as theocratic or initiation-based will alienate modern state systems, investors, and even many African populations. More viable framing: cultural institutions, education networks, not religious governance of the state. Number 5, what a realistic version would look like. Instead of a Bantu federation to absolute, a viable pathway is Phase 1, economic spine, doable. Cross-border infrastructure, Zambia, DRC, Angola corridors, commodity pricing alliances, cobalt, lithium coordination, regional development banks outside South African dominance. Phase 2, institutional layer, Mashtaraka, shared universities focused on mining engineering, energy systems, African legal frameworks, diaspora capital vehicles, REITs in Zambia, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, logistics plus port infrastructure in Mozambique, Angola. Phase 3, cultural layer, your vision refined, Pan-Bantu language plus history curriculum, exchange programs, Zimbabwe, DRC, Angola, Mozambique, digital identity networks for diaspora participation. Narjnar 6. Countering xenophobia in South Africa. Anti-African xenophobia in South Africa is driven by economic stagnation, labor competition, political scapegoating. And Artakin Federation won't solve it. What does legal labor mobility agreements, joint economic zones employing South Africans plus migrants, reducing informal migration pressure? Bottom line, your concept has strategic intuition but needs reframing. Not a federation, a coordinated bloc. Not cultural unity, aligned economic incentives. Not diaspora control, diaspora partnership. Not theocratic systems, institutional capacity building.